Phones aren't generally a regular item on this channel, and quite unlike me, I actually paid my own cold hard cash for this, which I tend to find more of a bias than receiving review samples, so do take this review with both of those things in mind. With that said, I'm actually very happy with my purchase, so let me explain why. Let's start off with the styling, because it's the first thing you'll notice when you take it out of the box. The back is absolutely gorgeous. In fact, it's the one thing that my partner liked the most about the phone when I got it, and I can understand why. Add to that the very, very nice build quality with its nice rounded edges and generally just very premium feel in the hand, makes it, well, feel very premium in the hand and actually very nice to hold. The next thing you'll notice is probably the display, and it's almost complete lack of bezels. It's stunning to look at. It's a 1440p panel, and possibly more importantly, it's a 90Hz display. As someone coming from a 165Hz monitor at my gaming PC that I use all day every day, this is a welcome change. It makes it feel incredibly smooth and fluid and responsive, and I'm very happy to see it. Colors are also very nice to look at too. The main drawback of the 90Hz display is battery life, although we'll talk about that more in a second, and the display does tend to lend itself quite nicely to content consumption. It's not quite 21:9 for movie watching, but it's still a nice enough experience for both movies and for YouTube, either zoomed in, which crops a bit of the video, or in standard black bar form. It's still a good enough experience. And when it comes to the speakers, you still do have a bottom firing one, but you now also have an amplified earpiece speaker, creating a serviceable stereo effect, if not exactly brilliant. The audio quality from those speakers is certainly decent enough. It's nothing that would blow you away, but it's also nothing that would detract you from your movie watching experience or just listening to music while it's sat next to you. Oxygen OS is now based on Android 10, and especially when you tie it with that 90Hz display, feels incredibly smooth and responsive and is actually a very enjoyable experience. It's great for playing games or just replying to messages or anything else in between, and in terms of actually getting into the phone, you can use the under-screen fingerprint reader, which is still slower than my old Oneplus 3T, but is not slow enough that it was annoying, and you can still use the pop-up camera to use face unlock, although again, that isn't ideal because it just uses the RGB camera and can be fooled pretty easily. For example, I was able to have it unlock the device with a still image on my monitor rather than with my face. Now, since we're talking about the cameras, let's start off with that front-facing one. The pop-up mechanism is rated for like something stupid like 1,000,000 up and down, so that shouldn't be an issue in terms of reliability, and it still does retract if it detects a fall to protect itself, which is always nice. In terms of image quality, the camera is decent enough. It's a little bit lackluster in low light situations, but it's certainly not alone there, so nothing really too hard to harp on. The rear facing options are now threefold: a 0.6x ultrawide, a 1x main camera, and a 3x telephoto, which for someone who came from a Oneplus 3T, which only has one rear-facing camera, is actually a pretty unique experience. The quality between them is pretty similar, and especially with the telephoto, you get some pretty incredible quality from a distance, and of course the ultra-wide, you get a lot of, well, stuff in frame, which can also be pretty useful too. Low light performance and the night mode are actually pretty impressive, with the night mode seeming to take multiple exposures, so I hope that you're still, and your subject is still for the few seconds that takes, but general low light is actually pretty decent too. I was using the telephoto lens here in just auto mode with a slight change in the general brightness setting with this fire pit, and it was actually pretty incredible the quality you can get. For comparison, here's the OnePlus, and here is the RX 100 Mark V I have for, you know, comparison's sake, and actually there's not all that much in it. Video recording can currently only be done with the front-facing camera and the 1x main camera on the back, although they did say that the ultra-wide should be getting recording support in a future software update, which will be great to see. In terms of quality, it's certainly decent. They do tend to crop in a fair bit, which is a little annoying, but overall, certainly decent enough. And you can also do slow motion, which is pretty incredible. You get up to 960 FPS at 720p or 240 FPS at 1080p, which is what I was using here. Again, the quality for this, especially with the fire that you can see here, was actually really impressive. And again, here's a comparison. So this is the OnePlus 7T Pro camera with slow motion at 240 FPS, and here is my RX 100 Mark V-A, again at 240 FPS, to give you a comparison and a quality difference. Moving on to battery life, this is a bit hit or miss because it's totally dependent on how often you use the screen. It doesn't really matter how much you use anything else, whether that's listening to music or connecting to Bluetooth devices or anything else. It's if you're using the screen that's the biggest killer. If you use it a lot, you might struggle to get to the end of the day with enough charge, but if you don't use it all that much, again, even if you are, say, listening to music all day, you might end up with closer to 2 days of battery life, so it can be pretty variable. Now that could be a problem if it didn't come with the Warp 30T charger in the box, because that is absolutely insane. You can go from basically dead to basically full in just a matter of minutes, enough that it doesn't really matter what charge state your phone is at. If you plug it in for a few minutes before you go out, you know, just enough time to put your shoes on, put your jacket on, to head out the door, it's probably going to be close enough to full that it really doesn't matter how much this thing drains. And that almost makes up for the lack of wireless charging support, and honestly it's pretty insane, and quite frankly I just love it. What I don't love so much is the price. It's £700, making it one of the most expensive OnePlus phones they sell, barring the McLaren edition versions. For comparison, I paid around £400 for my 3T a good 3 or 4 years ago now, and so it's definitely gone up a fair bit since, but when you consider that what you get for your money is pretty similar or matching to a lot of the £1,000 flagships, it doesn't seem so bad then. And of course there is the non-pro version if you want to save £150 but add a notch. So like I said at the start, I'm really happy with my purchase. It's an incredible phone that feels really very nice and premium in the hand, and feels incredibly smooth and responsive to use thanks to the 90Hz display, and also knowing that it's going to get multiple years of software updates and even more years of security updates on top of that is something that not many people can claim to actually offer and actually provide upon, so I'm overall pretty happy to recommend it if you're willing to pay the admittedly reasonably high price for it these days. Now with that said, those are my thoughts. I would definitely love to hear yours in the comments down below. What do you think of the 7T Pro? Is it something you'd pick up yourself? And what do you think of this video? Do you want to see more smartphone content, or would you rather I stick to the more PC gaming side of things? Anything at all, let me know in those comments down below. Now if you want to see more videos like this one every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, mostly focusing on PC hardware, but maybe the occasional dip into phones, then do hit that subscribe button with the bell notification icon to be notified of those new videos. If you want to pick up your own OnePlus 7T Pro or just check out pricing, actually it's an affiliate link, but I'll leave a link in the description down below that you can check out and see that good stuff. If you want to support the channel, there are a load of links in the description you can check out too. There's Amazon and Overclock Chicane affiliate links, which don't cost you anything to use, but massively help me out when you do use them. Or there's stuff like Patreon if you want to get cool awards, support me directly, merch for hoodies or t-shirts like this one, or a load of other designs, including some really cool ones I'm very excited to show off soon. And there's also stuff like private internet access, which is a great and cheap VPN, or Humble Bundle for cheap games to support charities too. Otherwise, you can check out some more videos over there, and that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, leave us in the comments down below, and we'll see you all in the next video.